Hi everyone!
For today's video, we have a very exciting announcement, news to share with you because we are expecting a baby!
Yay!
A baby boy that will be arriving in February, and we're quite excited about it. Also nervous, as I assume is normal.
Yes. I keep telling everyone that I'm excited yet terrified all in the same time, but I know me and Erin are going to be amazing parents, and we're going to just show so much love for our child that it's just going to be amazing.
Yes, and we're gathering as much information as we possibly can, even though I know that only goes so far. But for most of this video, I'm going to be telling you about my experience with my first trimester and how that has gone. But I thought we'd get James on the video, of course, because he had to be here for the announcement, but also just to get his thoughts on anything he wants to share about. I mean, he just shared that he's excited and terrified, but if he wants to share anything about being a father or about his experience with me for the first few months, his perspective on things. So take it away, James.
Oh man, you put me right on the spot. Now I gotta do this. So when Erin told me that she felt like she was pregnant, and once we found out that she was pregnant, again, like I said, I'm very excited. I'm nervous because, especially it being my first child, I mean, it's something I guess you kind of learn as you go, and you try to make the best decisions that you can for your child's sake and everything. So, I mean, up to this point, it still seems a little not as, like, real, I guess, because Erin hasn't started showing as much, and we still have a little bit of ways to go until the actual due date. I say that, but gosh knows, it'll be right around the corner before you know it. But I don't know, there's so much that we still need to do. I'm trying my best to help Erin not like stress over all the things that we still have to do. This first trimester, for me, I mean, of course, I'm not the one that's pregnant, so there hasn't been anything with me that's changed or anything. As for Erin, I think she's done a great job. She hasn't had much morning sickness. She does have sometimes, it's a little harder for her to sleep at night, but I'm one of those loving husbands that will wake up in the middle of the night with her and scratch her back for like 30-45 minutes while she goes back to sleep.
It's very nice, because sometimes it's the only way I can sleep.
So, and that's what I wanted to let Erin know, is that, I mean, with what she has to go through and carrying our child and everything, that I just want to be there for her and support her in any way I can, and just be the best husband that I can be for her, and soon to be father.
Yes, and you have been, babe, especially dealing with my emotional moments, because I have had some of those.
Oh, poor Erin. She's not that emotional. We did go see the Barbie movie, and she cried, but I'm assuming there might be a lot of people out there that cried during
and
that
that's
movie.
normal. Me crying at a movie like that's normal. It's more the I'll be fine, absolutely fine 1 second, to bawling my eyes out the next second, and I'm even sitting there like, why am I crying right now?
Oh man. But no, it's like I said, this whole experience has been great. We've told our families, and of course they're all so excited, and like I said, just so much more to do, but I can't wait for our son to be born. We still haven't found a name yet. Gosh knows, there's so many to choose from, and you want to choose the right one for your child, and so, but of course, once we find out any names that we decide, that we will of course let you all know. And
well, that might be after they're born. I don't
maybe
know
afterwards.
if I want to share before they're born.
Either or, it doesn't matter to me. It's not my channel, so Erin can do with it what she wants.
But yes, at some point you will eventually find out.
But no, so yeah, that's kind of been my experience so far. Erin's mom did buy me a like daddy pregnancy book for dads.
It's
and
called The First Time Dad's Handbook for those who may want to know.
The First Time Dad's Handbook.
Yes.
And it's been interesting. Yeah, I like the wording of it, how it talks about like how not like just like the measurements and what's going on inside like with the baby, but like things that I can do to help Erin out to make her more comfortable, stuff like that. So it's been a great book to read up to this point, and I know I can learn a lot more information from it as the weeks go by. But yeah, so that's all about me. But I mean, the best part of this whole thing is that I get to do this with my wife, and I just love her so much, and I'm just so happy that I get to be a father and that she gets to be a mother, and that we get to bring someone into this world and just shower them with lots of love and affection, and I just can't wait.
Sounds good, babe. That's a very good update, and I appreciate everything you said.
Aww.
And they'll have to stay tuned for my long explanation that's coming right up.
Yes, Erin's a lot more detailed than me. You asked me what's going on, I'll give you a 2-sentence response, but Erin's a lot better at like explaining things and kind of telling everyone what's going on.
I don't know, you already said a lot more than I was expecting. I thought this was going to be like a 3-minute clip, and here we are at almost 8 minutes.
I'm telling you, I can gab if I need to. I'm really good at it, actually. If I need to BS my way through a conversation, I surely can.
You're not BS.
Oh, of course not. Erin's probably gonna edit that part out anyway.
No, I won't.
Oh man.
Unless you want me to.
It doesn't bother me. I want the people to get to know the real James.
Yes, exactly. But thanks for watching and listening to James, and I'll be right back.
Bye!
Now that we've shared our big exciting news with you, I wanted to take a little time to share with you how my first trimester went. I am currently at the very beginning of my second trimester, so I know sometimes these videos can be helpful to people to share the experience I had, so I thought I would share some of that with you. I'm going to start by sharing a few video clips with you. These were more in real time, sharing with you how I was feeling, especially when it came to tiredness and fatigue, because as I'll tell you in the video, my doctor did tell me that I can't have any caffeine, and if you've watched any of my videos over the years, you know that I'm a big coffee drinker, have multiple caffeinated drinks a day, or I was, and I had to go to 0 caffeine. So these videos show a little bit better what that was like. It's day 1 of not being able to have an ounce, non-zero of caffeine. And already I feel like I can feel it. I feel tired, I'm yawning. But the good news is, Duncan's here snuggling with me, keeping me company, but you know me and my coffee and caffeine, and this is gonna be quite the challenge. I'll let you know how it's going periodically. Good morning. It's day 2 of no caffeine, and I'm beginning to wonder if I'll ever be able to sleep through the night again. Because as exhausted as I am when I go to sleep, I can't seem to stay asleep for the full night, because either I get woken up by stomach pains, or in last night's case, I got woken up by a headache in the middle of the night. Never been woken up by a headache, so that was fun. And then woke up at 5:30 to go to the bathroom, then couldn't get back to sleep. So, I don't know, maybe that's my body's way of telling me I've slept enough. Maybe it just goes with the territory. I'm not sure. Time will tell. But hopefully one of these days I'll get a full night's sleep without waking up to anything. Good morning. I have another update for you. It's been a few weeks without any caffeine, and I think I'm getting used to it. I haven't struggled as much as I thought I would. Granted, I still get tired, but now the new thing is not being able to stay asleep. So I wake up at 4 in the morning to go to the bathroom and just can't get back to sleep. Don't feel tired, feel restless, can't relax, and I'm up. As much as I try to go back to sleep, it doesn't happen. So it's been some very early mornings for me, and I don't know if it's my body's way of training me for the future or what, but it is a little bit frustrating at this point. So that's the latest. Time for another update for you because why not? Don't know if I'll be doing anything with these or posting any of this, but thought I'd share. Because we had a good morning today. Went to the pool, went in the water. It was cold at first, but then refreshing. Came back, had some lunch. And after lunch, I felt completely exhausted. Didn't really understand why because I hadn't even really done much today. And James went to work and I decided to take a little nap to try to help because I just could not keep my eyes open, was totally exhausted. So took about a 45-minute nap because I don't want to take them too long because I know that's not really good. But even after my 45-minute nap, I just feel so tired, no motivation. It's Sunday afternoon, so I have a lot that I want to get done. And I'm going to try to muster the energy to do some of it, but all I really feel like I want to do is sleep for the rest of the day. Which I know wouldn't be good because then I'd probably be up all night, but I just don't know why it hit me out of nowhere that I am so tired. Good morning. I'm still tired. I just want to nap all day. It's not really getting better. I have bursts of energy throughout the day. Well, not bursts, but like times in the day when I feel more energy. But for the most part, I just feel tired most of the day and like I would just rather stay home and take a nap. But I can't because I have responsibilities. And overall, I've been sleeping well. I sure fall asleep well. But then usually if I wake up to go to the bathroom or something, I can't get back to sleep. Or it takes a while, or it's restless. So I'm sure that's not helping matters. Hopefully one of these days I'll come to you with an update that says I'm not tired anymore. I have lots of energy. I feel great. I look forward to that day. I had written out on a piece of paper what I wanted to talk about in this video, and I cannot find it. So I'm going to wing it and tell you the best I can remember. Starting off with some of my symptoms. In the early stages, I did have a bit of nausea where I would just wake up and feel kind of nauseous or randomly feel nauseous throughout the day. I was fortunate though that I never threw up or never got to the point of extreme nausea where it would make me sick, but it would make me want to avoid eating certain things and I could only stomach certain things. One thing that I did find helped with that was these little candies. They're known as morning sickness sweets. They're mango and ginger flavor and I ordered them on Amazon. And it's nausea, upset stomach relief, digestive support, and they're just a hard candy. And I found that when I was feeling that bit of nausea, I would have one and it worked. It would make me feel better, would help it subside a little bit and make me feel like I could stomach things a little bit better. And the other things that helped with that were saltines or oyster crackers. So I would usually have some of those with me if I felt a bit hungry or I was getting that nauseous feeling, and that really helped as well, along with either Sprite or ginger ale. Ginger ale more to start out, and then I kind of transferred to Sprite as the nausea started to get less. Those were some of my first trimester must-haves, were ginger ale, Sprite, those anti-nausea candies, saltines, or oyster crackers, which I think are pretty standard things for a lot of people when it comes to nausea or the first trimester. I'm checking my handy dandy journal here where I journaled every week to help refresh my memory. But other symptoms early on were like some stomach cramping, probably from gas, so that wasn't very fun. And then I had also started to get some headaches at that point, which isn't usually a thing I get that often, and I can't take my usual remedies to help with it, so I would usually just have to let it pass. Another symptom I had early on was a very strong sense of smell. And I've always felt like I've had a pretty good sense of smell, but this was on a whole other level, to the point I could smell things that were far away, just pick up on things that I normally wouldn't. So smells were very strong to me. Sometimes they were bothersome. I couldn't stand any sort of trash smell. Strong perfumes bothered me at the time, and they normally don't. So when they say you get a heightened sense of smell, I understand now, because I was, again, smelling things I had never smelled before. One symptom that I've battled that is not the most pleasant thing to share, but it's reality, and was prevalent in my first trimester, seems to have gotten a little bit better recently, but that is constipation, and that is due to all of the hormones and the things that I would use to help that were stool softeners. But then that wasn't quite doing everything I needed, so my doctor also recommended Miralax. I just got the generic brand of Purelax from CVS. It's the exact same thing, just the CVS brand. And I only used this once, but it did help. It's a powder, and it's not the most appetizing powder. And since I can't have coffee to put it in, I was like, well, what am I going to put it in that I can hopefully disguise the taste, because just putting it in water wouldn't work. So I ended up getting some low sugar lemonade, and even though the lemonade was strongly flavored, I still felt like it made the lemonade taste a bit different, but I was at least able to get it down, and it was helpful to me. And I haven't needed these things, like I said, more recently, but I know that's something that can happen off and on throughout your pregnancy, so hopefully I won't need them again, but it's a possibility. Then around week 8, I started noticing myself having trouble sleeping, which has never been an issue for me, and it continues to be an off and on issue even now, where I have no trouble falling asleep. I get very tired pretty early in the evening, around 9 o'clock, 9:30 p.m., and I fall asleep like that very quickly. Sometimes I try to read in bed, and I usually get about 2 pages and I'm dozing off. So that part of it is not an issue. But then if I wake up for any reason, usually because I have to go to the bathroom or something, then when I come back, I am unable to get back to sleep. It doesn't happen every night, but it happens at least once a week, I would say, where I just feel like I don't want to say restless necessarily, because that's not exactly the case, but I just lay there kind of waiting to fall asleep, and it doesn't happen. And then I get frustrated because I can't fall asleep, which only perpetuates a not helpful cycle. But I eventually do, but I feel like it's not a full restorative sleep, because I notice myself waking up more often. I also have allergies and cannot take my allergy medication, so For some reason, when I wake up in the night, my nose starts to run. It's like a faucet. It just won't stop. I start sneezing, and none of that helps me to fall back asleep either. So that has been a bit of a challenge, a new challenge, I guess, that is still happening periodically. Then around week 12, I made a note. This had been happening, but I made a note because I wanted to make sure I remembered to tell you. I've noticed, and it's still continuing now, not quite as bad as it was, but it is still happening. I noticed that I need to eat frequently throughout the day, but I can't always eat big full meals because I'll go from feeling very hungry to very full quite quickly. So I could try to eat what I used to as a normal meal, but when I do, I feel very stuffed. I describe it as if I ate 3 Thanksgiving dinners. That's how full I feel. And it happens very quickly from, again, hunger to I haven't even finished everything on my plate and I feel extremely full. So I've had to kind of eat smaller meals, cut back a bit in terms of eating 3 big meals a day and instead having small things all throughout the day. So that has been something new to figure out. Another challenge I've faced, which is not necessarily a symptom, is with the blood draws. You have to get a lot of blood tests when you are pregnant, and it is something that I have never been good at. Not necessarily by my own fault, but because I have apparently low blood pressure, which makes the blood flow slowly, and tiny, difficult veins. So it has happened twice now at various blood draws that they have had to stick me multiple times in order to get the amount of blood that they need. First, it was at my doctor's office. It took them 3 tries to get what they needed and 3 people doing it. And I do my best to remain calm because I know that getting stressed about it isn't going to make anything any easier, and I try to just breathe to keep all my systems calm and working the way that they should, but it is a bit stressful and I wish that it was much easier for me. And I had to get some other tests done at a lab, and it's kind of strange because the previous week I had gone there for a different test. They got it on the first try, no issue. So the same person a couple of weeks later, and they tried in my arm, couldn't get it there. They said my muscle did something weird that they've never seen before, so they decided to stop. So then they tried my other arm. That didn't want to work. So then they went through my hand, which I never love. Or maybe it was my hand next. I forget the exact order. But I think it was my hand next. And they told me that vein blew up and they couldn't get everything that they needed because it just stopped working or they couldn't use it anymore or whatever. So by this point, I've been stuck 3 times. They said as long as I wasn't feeling nauseous, they could try one more time. I wasn't feeling nauseous, but I told them that I was hot, and they said, oh, that means we have to go lay you down, because originally I was just sitting with the little shelf that they fold out with my arm on it or whatever they needed to get it. But once I told them that, they had to take me to another room where they made me lay down in kind of this movable chair that lays down, and then they were putting ice packs on my head and my neck to cool me down, and I believe they tried my other arm, but the problem is even if they get a vein, sometimes the blood just stops flowing or they can't get it to give them enough to fill whatever vials they need to fill. So fortunately, they got it on the 4th try, or so I thought, because this was on a Friday, and I got a call on Saturday saying, Oh, Erin, we didn't get enough for one of the vials, so we need you to come back. And I said, I am not going back on a Saturday because this was when my parents were here and I needed a break. So I went back in on that Monday and it was a different person and I still have a bit of a bruise from it, but they went through my wrist because she said that's a good vein there. But fortunately, they got everything that they needed on that try. So that has been one of the downsides for me so far in terms of pregnancy, and I know it's not going to end because I have more blood draws ahead of me and more blood tests over the next however many months. So, and there's not a whole lot I can do because while I can hydrate, which I have been, they said that there's not necessarily a better time of day that they can do it, and meaning I thought maybe if I went later in the day it would work better than the morning, but they said it doesn't really work that way. And other than, hanging out in a sauna or superheating myself up, there's not a whole lot I can do. It's kind of the luck of the draw, and it's definitely not fun, definitely not comfortable. I have had bruises all over my body for the last month from everywhere that they've tried to take it, which is not a good look, but it is all worth it for the final outcome and to have healthy, good tests come back. But that has been one of the downsides and struggles that I've faced. And come to find out, based on one of those blood tests, I am anemic, which I know is common in pregnancy. And I was anemic when I was younger, I think in high school, but I haven't been since then because my doctor tests for it every now and then. And now that I'm pregnant, I am. So that means I have to take an iron supplement, iron with vitamin C, because I guess there's something with the vitamin C and iron that helps you to absorb it better. So I'm taking that now. It's not very pleasant to take, has some effects that I don't love. And along with that, I'm trying to up my iron intake in terms of food because I'm not a big beef eater. I probably don't eat as many vegetables as I should, so I'm working on that. We're trying to make more smoothies at home. I just made myself a spinach quiche because I'm not a big spinach fan, but I will eat it if it's in a quiche. So I'm trying to find ways to get more iron into my diet, and they're going to be testing again in roughly a month to see where my levels are at. So hopefully we can bring that back up. But overall, that is how my first trimester has gone in terms of symptoms, what I've been dealing with. It's mainly been tiredness, fatigue. I've taken some naps, which is very unusual for me because I've never been a napper, and dealing with that little bit of nausea in the beginning, strong sense of smell, but that has gone away, and then the off and on constipation and just the blood tests and all of that. But overall, I feel very fortunate that I feel like I had a pretty easy first trimester. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed this update on how my pregnancy has been going so far. Let me know if you'd like to see any other update videos or if there are any other pregnancy related videos that you would like me to share with you. I have one that will be coming hopefully after this video, but I want to also stick with my regular content at the same time. But of course, this is a huge part of my life now and a big change in my life, so I'm happy to share what I can with you or what you would want to know more about. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here and haven't subscribed, I would love it if you would do so. It is free, and that way you won't miss any of my future videos. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!